The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Mary set out in those days and traveled to the hill country in haste to a town of Judah, where she entered the house of Zechariah and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the infant in her womb leaped, and Elizabeth, filled with the Holy Spirit, cried out in a loud voice and said, "Most blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. And how does this happen to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For at the moment the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the infant in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed are you who believed that what was spoken to you by the Lord would be fulfilled." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
So my mother really likes this gospel, mainly because it's this interaction between cousins. Like Mary and Elizabeth, they're cousins, and they go and greet one another and hang out a little bit. And I don't know, in my life, and cousins have been a huge part of our family. We just had cousins all over. They were my best friends growing up. So we just a lot of that kind of family stuff going around. And I'm going to stop talking about my grandparents someday, maybe. But today, I'm reminded of my grandma Mary Jane, Mom's mom. She would have passed away today, would have been 18 years ago. And that's where the hub was. That's where all the cousins got together. And so I just think of her, for several reasons. But it was always funny that she died on the shortest day of the year, the darkest day of the year. She hated the darkness. And so that was kind of interesting. And but I think about her a lot today, but I also just am so aware of the communion of saints. When I read this gospel and I hear these different characters, Mary, Elizabeth, John, Jesus, Zechariah, these are our ancestors. Right? These are those who've gone before us. They're our grandparents way down the line. And that's so important to our well-being. It gives us hope. They encourage us. Why do grandparents encourage us? Because they've been there, done that. They've weathered those storms. And they're like, son, you can make it. That's what the communion of saints does for us. We've been there, done that. You can do it too. Right? So this, as far as I'm concerned, culturally speaking, probably the darkest time in my lifetime I've ever seen, culturally speaking. But I've never been so filled with hope for the future. And I don't know where it all comes from. But the thing is, there's a lot of good going on. It's just that the darkness is trying to blind us. We got to focus on the good. Today's the shortest day of the year. You know what happens tomorrow? The days start to get longer. Right? That's hope. Jesus comes to give us hope. So I'm just super encouraged. I think we all should be. Yeah, Christmas is coming, but then we're on to the next one. It's time to run. There's a lot to be hopeful for. Let's not focus on the darkness. Let's focus on the light. It's just as bright. It's more bright. So that's my encouragement today. And that's what the communion of saints, whether it's your grandma, your cousins, or John the Baptist, that's what they do for us. They encourage us to keep trucking. The last thing my grandma said to me before she died was, "You be a good boy now."